Actually, no. It's funny. The way that the gimmick actually came about is I used to live with Shepherd Alexander, who's a young lion over at the New Zealand New Japan Dojo at Fale Dojo,
Mm.
and has been wrestling for God, I think he's over a decade now. I used to live with him, and we were just kind of we were just shooting the shit, no pun intended, one day, and we were sort of talking about just various sort of conspiracies. Like I spitballed the idea of, like, imagine if the reason why people say that we shouldn't look at the sun, why do they say that? I don't think it's actually because, we're going to go blind. Maybe there's something up there that people don't want us to see. What if it's just something like, a sticky note or something like that? What if it's just some Illuminati spotlight? And we were just giggling and, looking, and we sort of looked at each other for a moment, and Shep sort of like said, there's something there. And like, I sort of realized, yeah, there is. And I this was during lockdown, so I didn't have much to do. So I grabbed a notepad and just started writing down conspiracies involving various wrestlers. Like, what would be the conspiracy, for person A, B, C, D, yada yada yada.
Mm.
And it got me thinking, because I knew that I was going to go down to Sydney at that point. I knew I was going to move down. And I figured, rather than trying to leverage my old, warhead Xander Sullivan gimmick, no nonsense wrestler with like a forehead of steel,
Mm.
rather than trying to get that over in a new, place, and basically starting from scratch there, I thought it was, considering the nature of the times we were living in, I thought it was a good idea to maybe run with something new, and that was where what I decided to do, and that's the rest, as they say, is history. It's funny because, like, much as, despite the fact that I am Illuminator Xander Sullivan, crackpot conspiracy theorist for the
Mm.
most part, because I was raised by a English literature professor and a lawyer, so having a very sort of, I guess, critical mind led me to kind of scoff at the bulk of conspiracy theories.
Sure.
Yeah, which is totally ironic, but it also means that I'm able to kind of come at it with a kind of lightheartedness and a sort
Mm.
of willingness to play the fool, and a lack of fear of being made fun of,
Mm.
um, that has, I guess, allowed it to, I don't know, kind of be, you know, um, more enjoyed, more as, kind of a laugh, rather than as being this, this big, serious, heel, being something that can either be, cheered because of how ridiculous it is, or, booed for being one of those ridiculous, people that they've been seeing on their
Yeah.
Reddit threads and 4chan screens, and indeed their, political commentators for the last 3 or so years.
Yeah, man. Because it's an interesting gimmick because I feel like it's never really like here in Australia, it's never been done. Like I don't really even think it's been done overseas. Like I think Sami Zayn may have done something similar for a little while, but
There is
I think that
there
was
is another
after.
wrestler. Well, there is another wrestler down in Adelaide, a guy called Wham Bam Bellows, who's absolutely fantastic, who also does a conspiracy theorist, gimmick, and his work is fantastic, and I've always, tried really hard to sort of do kind of the exact opposite as to what he was doing.
Sure.
Not wearing like a tinfoil hat, being much more of the kind of sort of Reddit thread, lives in his mom's, base, well, actually more like lives in a dumpster kind of conspiracy theorist, rather than some of the stuff that he's been doing. And I also tried really hard to avoid, doing the Sami Zayn thing, as
Yeah.
well, just to try to be unique, and just try to sort of, I guess, put something out there that's a little bit, that just hasn't been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it was definitely your act is so much different to what Sami Zayn was doing. Like I think it was similar to the certain thing about the conspiracies, but I think the deliverance was different. You know what I mean? Like the way that you delivered the things that you were doing. You know what I mean? Like I didn't go, oh, this is a Sami Zayn ripoff, or this is. I didn't see too many similarities to it.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I think what kind of helped me with that was kind of trying to find a um, sort of a motivation, I guess you could say, that was different from other conspiracy theorist gimmicks out there. Like my sort of whole thing, and it's how I came up with the name, is being dead set on eliminating the wrestling Illuminati. You know, treating it as, you know, me crusading against, you know, the men in black, the people who are, you know, holding the strings, but, you know, in the, you know, the pro wrestling world, you know, being an illuminator in the sense of shedding light, but also eliminating the Illuminati, elimination, illuminator, you know, yada yada.
Yeah.
So that sort of has, guess, it's kind of helped give me a kind of foundation to work off of, and a logic and a reason behind, you know, everything that I, you know, do, whether it's, you know, whoever I'm, you know, in a feud with, whoever I'm in a match with,
Yeah.
etc.